We talked about yesterday the fact that Donald Trump's trying to portray himself as pro-worker and I'm a friend of UAW and they should endorse me, even though that's not aligned with his record. There's a segment that's uploaded now on the channel you can watch if you're curious as to what I mean by that. But Shawn Fain, the president of UAW, went on CNN and got asked about Donald Trump and the way that he's trying to portray himself in this fashion. And Shawn Fain didn't hold anything back, made clear exactly what I was telling you yesterday. Trump is not a friend of us. He's not a friend of the working class. He directly worked in opposition to our interests when he actually had power. So coming along now, speaking in Detroit, trying to get the political advantage based on this moment is unacceptable. Whereas, again, Biden, yes, he's also probably getting a political advantage and there's a risk too, but if he gets an advantage from showing up and the picket line and all that, but that's aligned with his record. So he's doing something that's in line with his actual record, beliefs, and policies on this subject. Here is Shawn Fain.
Former President Trump will travel to Michigan tomorrow to give a speech to auto workers in Detroit. Many of your members are supporters of his. He wrote this on his social media just ahead of President Biden's visit there today. This is from Trump. Joe Biden's draconian and indefensible electric vehicle mandate will annihilate the U.S. auto industry and cost countless thousands of auto workers their jobs. Is the former president right? Does the push for electric vehicles here in the United States hurt your union?
It doesn't if it's a just transition, and that's what we're fighting for right now. It doesn't if the companies do the right thing and put this work under, our agreements or to our standards. And again, it's the companies driving this race to the bottom, and they're using our tax dollars to finance it. And, I find a pathetic irony that the former president is going to hold a rally for union members at a non-union business. And, all you have to do is look at his track record. His track record speaks for itself. In 2008, during the Great Recession, he blamed UAW members. He blamed our contracts for everything that was wrong with these companies. That's a complete lie. In 2015, when he was running for president, he talked about doing a rotation, taking all these good paying jobs in the Midwest and moving them somewhere in the South where people work for less money, and then to make people beg for their jobs back at lower wages. And the ultimate show of how much he cares about our workers was in 2019 when he was the president of the United States. Where was he then? Our workers at GM were on strike for 60 days, for 2 months. They were out there on the picket lines. I didn't see him hold a rally. I didn't see him stand up at the picket line, and I sure as hell didn't hear him comment about it.
So
He's exactly right. And now he's able to say this with even more of the contrast laid bare for the American people between Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and what a president could do, which Biden is doing. When he says, where was Trump when we needed help? Where was Trump supporting us? And actually, he was directly undermining us at every turn. That's not just a hypothetical. He could have been better. It's actually being compared to what Biden is doing now. He showed up yesterday, literally in person on the picket line. First time on record a president has done so. An image that is huge. And I heard another commentator, I'm sure many have, make this point. The power of a president just showing up somewhere to get the media to focus on something is like no one else, obviously. And so one of the things in these moments, whoa, my computer just went bonkers. One of the things in these moments that is so important for striking workers is the public being behind them. The more public pressure you have on these companies, the more likely they are to give in to the demands of the unions. That's a level of power that is important for the union. And so it's really hard to get broadly America to care about an issue in a unified way and then apply pressure. And getting the president to get all the cable news networks, all these different publications to talk about this picket line, to talk about UAW and their concerns, their very reasonable demands. All of a sudden, you have the president of the United States, you have all these striking workers, and then this entire apparatus of media behind, or at least giving energy to and attention to the interest and demands of the UAW workers. And that is huge. Not to mention all that Biden's done. I won't go through it all again today, but we've been going over it constantly on the show in recent weeks for the ability for workers to unionize and being for the working class and lifting up their strength and their well-being. And it's been historic what Biden's been up to, and specifically his NLRB on that front. Whereas Trump's NLRB, as we went through yesterday, was horrible on workers' rights. And Biden is also calling out what Shawn Fain did there in a new ad.
He says he stands with auto workers, but as president, Donald Trump passed tax breaks for his rich friends while automakers shuttered their plants and Michigan lost manufacturing jobs. Joe Biden said he'd stand up for workers, and he's delivering, passing laws that are increasing wages and creating good-paying jobs. Manufacturing is coming back to Michigan because Joe Biden doesn't just talk, he delivers.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
And again, of course, a president, a politician, will try to politically benefit from any given political moment. What we care about is that message aligned with their actual ambition and record and policy stances on the subject that they're talking about. And with Biden, whatever your issues are with him, it's just true. He's been incredible, especially compared to recent presidents on the subject of unions and just workers' rights, workers' well-being in general. And that is something that has to be noted. Apparently, we can focus constantly on the shoe wear of Joe Biden. Let's also focus on meaningful, impactful things he's been up to. And hopefully Shawn Fain, now with the power of the presidency behind him, with the public awareness like it rarely is on these labor issues, hopefully he'll be able to lead his organization to get some incredible victories for the workers. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show and get a bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.